Okay, so alhamdulillah, we finished the meme sakin rules yesterday. And just a reminder with regards to what the meme sakin rules are, that whenever you see a meme with a sukoon on it or a meme with nothing on it, we know that our rule applies. And there are three possible rules in which they could, how you would pronounce that meme. So the first one is the ikhfa shafawi. Second one is idgham saghir. And the third one is idhar shafawi. So with ikhfa shafawi, we said that just like the noon sakin and the tanween rule, that we always look at the letter after. So whenever you see a meme with a sukoon on it, you would look at the letter after, and depending on what that letter is, we know that it's one of these three rules. And the hardest thing that you need to remember is these names. Okay, but the pronunciation is nice and easy. We said that when you see a meme with a sukoon, when you see a meme with a sukoon followed by, what was the letter for ikhfa shafawi? Somebody tell me. Ikhfa shafawi. Yeah, well done. So a ba. And what was the letter for idgham saghir? Yeah, well done. The meme. So you see another meme that comes after. And what was the letter for, or the letters for idhar shafawi? Yeah. So any other letter. Okay, so this is for the sake of the picture. Well, it's a very, not very nice picture, but the idea is that whenever you see a meme sakin followed by a ba, you pronounce it with gunna. Okay, so with gunna. And then that's meant to be a G. So a meme sakin followed by another meme is again with gunna. And then a meme sakin followed by any other letter except for meme and ba, you would pronounce clearly the meme sound without any gunna. And it's as simple as that. Okay, so we've just got to remember that there is a gunna that you're pronouncing after a meme sakin with a ba, and then a meme sakin with another meme, and the rest of it is what you were previously doing. So, okay, so that is your meme sakin rules. Now, I did say to you yesterday, so if you want to take a picture, please do so now. I did say to you yesterday that there were 4 words where it is the exception of the noon sakin rules. Okay, so those 4 words are, I'm just going to rub this off. So we already went through 2 yesterday. Can anyone remind me what those 2 words were? We can remember. Yeah, dunya, well done. What was the other one? Okay, so it was bunyanun. Bunyanun. Okay, and the other 2 are qin wa nun. Qin wa nun. And then the other one is sin wa nun. Okay, I'll just put it up in a minute. So basically, whenever you see these 4 words, whenever it comes in the Quran, you know that even though if you look after the noon sakin, there is a ya in one case or 2 cases, and there is a waw in the other 2 cases. So according to the normal rule, you would pronounce this as idgham with gunna because it's one of the yanmu letters. But there is an exception with regards to these 4 words in the Quran that you would pronounce the noon nice and clearly, okay, without any gunna. Okay, so it would be the equivalent of idhar. And this one is known as idhar mutlaq. Okay, so idhar mutlaq basically means that it's just a default clear clarity, if that makes sense. It's just clear by default. Okay, so those are your 4 words. Now we said that we were going to go through the mads. Okay, so the mads, to be honest, are nice and simple. Okay, I'm just going to give you the basic concepts for now. Okay, so we know that whenever you see an alif with a fatha before it, a waw with a dhamma before it, or a ya with a kasra before it, these are known as haruf al-mad. Haruf al-mad. Okay, does anyone know how long you would stretch that? So this is, for example, like the word that we learned, the words that we were going through with the jawf. Remember, like qala, qila, qulu. How long do we stretch that? Qa, ku, ki. Yeah, 2 harakas. Okay, so remember how I said that we use in Arabic, we use the term haraka, meaning movement. Okay, so these are 2 harakas. Okay, so 2 harakas whenever you see it, and they're known as huruf al-mad, which is basically the letters of mad. Letters of mad being alif, waw, and ya. So whenever you see them, you would stretch it as 2, and it's meant to just be natural. You're not actually expected to count, as in terms of how long you're stretching it. You just do it as a natural thing, and it's meant to be longer than the normal a, u, e. Okay, so it's just meant to be double that. And that is known as haruf al-mad. Now, just as a basic term, because we're just going to go through it basically today, you will sometimes see a sign like this, okay? So, and then sometimes you see a sign like this, okay? So sometimes it's a little bit more bolder, the other times it's a little bit more softer, okay? So what does that mean? That basically means that I need to stretch it 4 or 5 harakas, both of these. Okay, so whenever I see this sign, I need to stretch it 4 or 5 harakas. So I would literally say it like qala. Okay, so I would literally going through like as if you're closing your hand. How long it takes for the fingers to go into the palm is how long you are stretching it. Okay, so that's a good way to make sure that you are not stretching it too long or too short. Now it's important to remember that it's 4 or 5, not 4 and 5, or not between 4 and 5. Okay, so you've got to either do it as 4, so I'm putting 4 fingers in, or I'm doing all 5, including the thumb. Okay, so when we're saying 4 or 5, if in an ayah now you decide that in the first time you see it that you stretch it as 4, then you're meant to carry on doing all of them as 4, not in one ayah 4 and then another ayah 5 and so forth. So imagine I'm sitting down and I'm about to read Quran, my juz for the day or my page for the day, and in that one sitting you're meant to go with one of these. Okay, so you either stretch it as a 4 or you stretch it as a 5. Now it's easy to just do it as a 5 because naturally it's just easier to close your whole hand into your thumb. Okay, and then initially you will be practicing it with your hand, but eventually it'll just become such a norm that you won't even realize that you need to use your hand to count how often you are how long you're elongating it. Okay, so now what makes the difference between this one and this one? Okay, so just so that you know for the names for today, we've got, this one is called mad muttasil. Mad muttasil. Okay, so mad muttasil, and then the curly one is called mad munfasil. Mad, so in English would be mad munfasil. Okay, so mad muttasil, and then you got mad munfasil. Okay, and then to add to your notes, the mad muttasil is wajib. Wajib. Meaning I have to do it. There's no question about it. It's actually wrong, and it would be classified as a sin because we know that reciting with tajweed is fardul ayn. Okay, so I would have to stretch this as 4 or 5. Okay, whereas the mad munfasil is jaiz. Jaiz. Okay, so jaiz basically means voluntary. And then this one, wajib, means that it's obligatory. Okay, so what I normally say to students is that in order for you to be safe, it's better for you to, whenever you see these signs, regardless of whether it's that one or that one, you stretch it 4 or 5. Okay, because then you're not worrying too much, oh, is this a wajib one, is this a voluntary one, and so forth. It's only later on when you're a little bit more secure in your tajweed and you know the difference and so forth, then you can start just focusing, as in you can choose not to do the mad munfasil one. So the only time, for example, that I would see in its practicality that you don't want to do the mad munfasil one is when, for example, you are reading Quran to somebody like your teacher. So I remember when I was reading Quran to my teacher, she didn't have enough time for me to be able to necessarily do all the mads. So for that reason, she would say to me, oh, just do your mad munfasil as 2. Okay, and do your mad muttasil as 4 or 5, because we know that this one is wajib. So when you're reading at a quicker pace, then you don't need to focus so much on elongating the mad munfasil, but you know that you have to do it for the mad muttasil. So when I'm saying that you don't have to, when it's voluntary, we're saying that if you're not stretching it as 4 or 5, then it would be a classic normal 2 harakas. Okay, so it's 2 in its norm if you're not going with the 4 or 5 concept. Okay, so hopefully this will make a little bit more sense with the examples that we go through, inshallah. Okay, so I'll just give that as 2 seconds, and then I will bring up an example. Okay, so an example would just be like, for Bani Israel. Okay, so you would have ba with a fatah on it, noon, and then here you would see that there's a little squiggle on top. Now I can read this as, because this one would be, it's a squiggle one, so this one is a jaiz one, so I could read this as Bani Israel, okay, because this is a normal classical huruf al-jawf. Okay, so this would be a normal 2, but because of that squiggle, we are now stretching it 4 or 5, and I would pronounce it as Bani Israel. Okay, so this example actually has both types of mud in it. It has mud munfasil here, and it also has mud muttasil here. Okay, so I would pronounce this as Bani Israel. Okay, so I'm stretching that 4 or 5, and then I'm also stretching that 4 or 5. Okay, so here I would, and if I wanted to go with the concept that one is jaiz, one is wajib, we know that this one, the blunter version, is the one that is obligatory. So I can read this as Bani Israel. Okay, but like I said, for now, as students, I would highly advise you to be stretching all of them as 4 or 5. Okay, later on, as we go through the sessions and so forth, we will look at the differences as to why one is jaiz and one is obligatory. So I'm going to go through that tomorrow, inshallah. I'll go through as to why this is jaiz and this one is obligatory. Okay, so for now, all you need to know is that the harakas, when you see haruf al-mad, alif, waw, or ya, and it has the appropriate haraka that comes before it, that the alif is preceded by a fatah, the waw is preceded by a dhamma, the ya is preceded by a kasra, then you would be stretching this as 2 harakas. Okay, then you have 2 names that you need to memorize. So one is called mad muttasil, and the other one is called mad munfasil. Both of them you stretch as 4 or 5. One is wajib, meaning that you have to do it, stretch it. And if you, and then the other one is jaiz, which you have a choice. You can either do it as 4 or 5, or you can do it as 2. Okay, but we said that we are going to stick with the concept of 4 or 5 for all of them until we have a strong grasp of our tajweed in terms of its theoretical and also its practice. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. What we're going to do now is that we're going to bring up a surah, and hopefully I have one. Oops. As you can see. Okay, let's just bring up whichever one comes up, and let's look for the muds. Okay, so we're going to go with this one, which is Shams. Okay, so let's have a look at firstly whether there are any muds in here. Okay, so have a quick look through and tell me how many mad muttasils or any mad munfasils that you can find in here. Okay, so you're literally just looking for that sign, that squiggle or the darker version. Don't worry about, oh, I don't know whether it's mad munfasil or mad muttasil. It's just whether there are any in here. Can't actually see. Oh, see one. Okay, once you think that you've found them all, just quickly put it into the chat so I know how fast you are. Okay, so we've got some people saying 2. Okay, so Tahir was saying 1 muttasil and 1 munfasil. We've got some saying 4. You'll notice that there are some at the end of the ayahs. So look at this one here, for example. There's actually a stretch there. But that would only apply when you're continuing with you're not necessarily stopping at the end of the ayah. Okay, so let's just go through it quickly. There's none in the first ayah. How long would I stretch this one? Somebody tell me. 2. Okay, so remember how I said about the dagger alif? The dagger alif is the equivalent of a huruf al-mad. Okay, so dagger alif is the equivalent, or alif madda is the equivalent of huruf al-mad. Okay, how long is this? 2. Okay, I'm going to go through it quickly. Get ready for your typing. Okay, so 2 here, 2 here. How long is this? 2. How long is this? 2. How long is this? 2. Okay, and then here again, we have a 2 here, and we have a 2 here, we have a 2 here, and we have a 2 here. There's a lot of 2. These are the natural ones. Okay, we've got a 2 here, a 2 here, a 2 here. Right, so this one here, how long do I stretch this one? 4 or 5. Okay, what do you think this one is? Is it mad muttasil or mad munfasil? Remember, it's the more of a harsher version. Yeah, it's the wajib one, which is called mad muttasil. Yeah, and then we've got a 2 here, we've got a 2 here, a 2 here. Okay, and then we've got another 2, another 2, another 2. Right, it's really important that you understand that the only time that you are stretching a letter is if it has a mad on it. Now, a common mistake in most people's reading when they haven't studied Tajweed is that they will end up stretching things that they're not meant to stretch. So you need to know that the only time I'm stretching a letter is if it has a haruf al-mad on it, or one of these signs, or it's one of the longer versions. Okay, so a 2 there, a 2 here. Okay, what rule is this? Kasratain followed by a waw. Anyone? Okay, so it's idgham. What kind of idgham? Idgham with the gunna. Okay, so remember when you see a kasratain followed by a waw, it is the rule of idgham with the gunna. Okay, so this one is a 2, this one is a 2. فَأَلْهَمَهَا. How long is this? A 2. Fuju, again another 2. Here another 2. What rule is this? Kalkala, yeah. Okay, so this is kalkala. This is a 2. This is a 2. What rule is this? Kalkala again, yeah. Okay, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. What rule is this? Noon sakin followed by a za. Ikhfa, well done. So it's ikhfa. Then the ka is a 2. The ha is a 2. What rule is this? Kalkala, yeah. And this is a stretch of a 2. What rule is this? Mandasa. Noon sakin followed by a dal. Yeah, it's ikhfa. And then the sa is a 2. The ha is a 2. And then we have thamu. So this is a 2. So remember when we're saying 2, we're talking about haruf al-mad. Okay, and then we have a waw, which is, we classify this as also haruf al-mad. Okay, so we can say haruf al-mad to this, 2. Haruf al-mad 2. Idim. What rule is this? Idim. Iklab, yeah. So we've got memes with little meme here to tell me that it's iklab. And this is a qaf with a little alif, dagger alif, which is haruf al-mad 2, ha is 2, qala is 2, lahum. What rule is this? A meme sakin followed by a ra. Meme sakin followed by a ra. Okay, I need a full name. Meme sakin followed by a ra. So it's called idhar shafawi. Okay, idhar shafawi. Write down these names somewhere on a little post-it note. Put it on your computer somewhere nearby so that you can constantly look back at it, because you're going to struggle with remembering these names if you don't practice it at this point. So remember, it's meme sakin followed by a ra. It's idhar shafawi. A good way to remember it is that you know this is a clear one, no gunna. So you know the first word is going to be idhar, clear. Okay, and then shafawi is the one with the lips, and we know that meme is with the lips, so it's idhar shafawi. Rasu, the su here is haruf al-mad, a 2. What rule is this? The name of Allah, and it has a dhamma before it. What do I need to remember? To make the lam in the name of Allah heavy. Well done. Na, this is a haruf al-mad, and I stretch it as a 2. And then we have again here the name of Allah. It has a fatah before it. So what do I need to do here? Yeah, make the lam heavy. Well done. Wasuqa. So what do we have here? Qalqala, well done. And then the ya is haruf al-mad 2. The ha is haruf al-mad, that's 2. Fakadhabu, the bu here is haruf al-mad 2. Fa'akaru, the ru is haruf al-mad and 2. The ha is haruf al-mad and 2. Fadamdama alayhim. So we've got a meme sakin here followed by a ra. What rule is this? Yeah. No, it's not ikhfa shafawi. It's clear. No gunna. Idhar shafawi. Rabbuhum. Okay, here we have a meme sakin followed by a ba. What rule is this? You've got to get those names nice and easy on your mind. So it's ikhfa shafawi. Meme sakin followed by a ba is called ikhfa shafawi. Oops, I've lost it. What's happened? Okay, so and then dhambihim. What rule is this? A little meme. So we've got noon sakin followed by a ba. Yeah, iklab. And then you've got a meme sakin followed by a fa. What rule is that? Meme sakin followed by a fa. Idhar shafawi, yeah. So wa, the wa is 2 harakas, haruf al-mad. Ha is 2 harakas, haruf al-mad. Wala, 2 harakas, haruf al-mad. Kha, 2 harakas, haruf al-mad. Uqa, what rule is this? Yeah, kalkala. And then the ba is 2 harakas, haruf al-mad. The ha is 2 harakas, haruf al-mad. Okay, so hopefully that it's not too difficult. I'm hoping that it's just taking you time to type out the answers and so forth. Remember to don't just, you can do this by yourself. Find a surah, try and find as many of the rules that you've covered previously and see how long it takes you to find it. Okay, time yourself and so forth, because you want to get to a stage where you can find the rules nice and quickly. You're not even having to think about it. You're not having to refer back to your notes. Okay, so initially you're using your notes, and then afterwards, while you're practicing, is all of a sudden you don't no longer need your notes, and that's the kind of stage that you want to be at, inshallah. Okay, so we'll leave the tajweed at that, and I will see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.